Next thing we're going to invite back, like every year, FM from Kiruna, this time together with Arne, who is going to take us through the future of customer relationship that has been lost in translation. Please, FM Arne, take it away.
Lost in translation, or what happened to customer care online. Nearly everything went better, but we're going through this, and this is...
We are FM,
Yeah.
creative director from Kiruna, Sweden.
Yeah,
And I'm
here
Arne.
we have Arne Hjeltnes, CEO of Kiruna, Nordic.
We're 50 years old.
Yeah,
Exactly 50 years old.
yeah,
So we have 100 years of customer experience. We're going to share this with you.
absolutely.
And we are actually so old that we have experienced customer care in the analog world. And that's really amazing. I used to be a director for tourism for Norway in the US. And when you really go abroad into another market, you discover how small your product is and how little you are. And imagine, do you remember the first time you went to the US, to America? It's a fantastic experience. I mean, you've seen hundreds of American movies, and then all of a sudden you set your feet on Manhattan, and it's like being in a movie. You have these guys on the street corner selling pretzels and hot dogs, and they talk to you just like in the movies. Hi guys, where you from? What's happening? And you, the first time you're in New York, you start walking a little bit like this. Because you're experiencing something bigger than yourself. And the taxi cabs are yellow, not one or two in between. They are all yellow. And it's actually steam coming up from the street, like in the movies. And one evening we were down in the village, and outside the jazz club there was this huge bouncer looking at us. And he said, he saw our, fair-skinned blue eyes, and he said, "Guten Tag." And we were very quick to correct him. "We're not the Germans, we're from Norway." And then he looked at us again and he said, "Who cares?" And that's really the question. I mean, it's up to us to make someone care about our country, our organization, our product. That's our job, to make people care. And I'll give you a short story from my hometown in Voss, in the western part of Norway. We had a car salesman, Bakkatun. He retired last year. He sold a Renault, the French cars, and eventually other brands. And one day, one of my father friends came to my father and said, "I bought a new car." And my father is keen on cars. He said, "What kind of brand, what kind of car did you buy?" And the guy said, "I don't know, I bought it from Bakkatun." So, and this was a guy who did excellent customer care in the analog world. I don't think he even had a fax, and let alone Facebook. So, I mean, now in the digital world, FM, it must be easy peasy.
Yeah, it is. But it's not just easy, it's also very hard. And we will show some examples of it and what you can do about it. So something got lost in the translation from the old industry to the new industry when it comes to customer care. And these are the usual suspects, the easy ones. Music, pictures, magazines, movies, books, money, games. Banks was actually the first ones.
They are in the cloud.
Yeah, we haven't talked about cloud computing when they, like 97 or 98, when they came online. And you haven't thought about that, but all those things are in the cloud. And if we at Kiruna talk about two categories, the ones who is pure digital, the first ones here, and that the later category in the yellow here is not that easy to digitize.
Like cheese.
Like cheese. Like
cheese is very difficult.
And
you can have a cheese app,
in a few years, we have showed it, Martin and I have showed it to SIME a couple of years ago when we beamed on stage and we traveled in the future. But that digitizing will take a while. So before you can beam and back up yourself, you will have to create digital layers around real products like cars and
cheese. You could have actually could have an app that helps you pick the right wine for your cheese.
Absolutely.
Or vice versa.
And if physical shopping was sometimes it's most Sometimes it's better online, but sometimes it's harder to buy stuff online. So if we look just a couple of 1 minute on this movie, how it is.
Cleaner for aisle 4, please. Cleaner for aisle 4. Thank you.
Hey, just that, thanks.
You sure?
Yeah.
Username?
Oh, Nick M?
No.
NM 1983?
No.
Zandy Pops?
Sorry.
Zandy Pops?
No, okay. Don't worry, I'll help. What's your postcode?
Oh, it's GU749ZT.
Welcome back, Nick Forever. Please listen carefully to this bread license agreement before continuing with your purchase of a loaf of bread. If you do not, blah, blah, blah. You also agree not to use any bread-based products for any purposes prohibited by United Kingdom law, including without limitation, design, development, manufacture of missiles, chemical, nuclear or biological weapons.
Tick.
I'm afraid you've timed out.
What? Sorry.
You can see you can see the rest of the movie is up. It's a Google movie actually, but this is a real example for me.
From the real world.
From the real world, and I bought the physical book. Do you remember physical books? You know, the ones you know.
Good old books.
Yeah, and I bought it from Amazon. You know, and I have a one-click buy account. It's really, really convenient. It works perfectly. It, you know, drops down. You can see it. It travels from the storehouse. It goes to the airport. It goes to Düsseldorf, and something happens when it is in Sweden. The experience is not that great. It goes to and from my house. I'm at work. Nobody calls me. There is something happening, and it ends up usually like this.
And you're still a customer with Amazon. At
Still
least
a
you
customer.
feel like that.
Yeah.
But something happened here in transportation.
Something got lost in transportation here. They couldn't control the whole chain. How has this happened to anyone here? Yeah.
So they lose control of the product.
They lose control of the product in the last little bit, the deliverance there.
And you get annoyed.
And they solved the problem also.
Yeah, that's true.
They solved the problems with this one, the Kindle. But I'm not talking about the Kindle. Everybody has one, sure. But the greatest customer experience I had actually in my life was when I bought the physical Kindle. When it came to me in an Amazon package, I ripped the package open, and I was already logged in, and all the books were there. Imagine that if you buy a new computer, and all your work is there. Exactly at the old computer stopped, and you just, you know, pack up the new one. It smells new as they do, and all your work is there. This is how it should be done.
So after 6 days, when you get the Kindle, they have solved the problem.
Yeah.
I'm flying a lot. I'm a frequent flyer. And with everyone who's traveling a lot, or actually anyone who's using a product very often, you like to be recognized as a good client. And I was very pleased when I finally got an email from the SAS boss, Richard himself. He wrote to me, and he even spelled my name correctly, and I was very pleased. Finally, they see me as the important guy I am for this company. And he also wrote that he even knew my details. He wrote that, I have seen that you have flown with us more than 200 times lately. And I thought, wow, that's kind of impressive. And that was not it, because there was even more. Inside the email was a special hotline for me to get in touch with Richard if I ever was in any kind of airline aviation trouble. A link I could click on. It's like break glass only in case of emergency. I had to try it. So I clicked and went from VIP to nobody in one click. Into a complaint form. I didn't even have anything to complain. So this was my hotline, and it would actually been better for Richard to not send me the email. So I think if you had put like 500 extra bonus points on something like that into my app would have been better, because the app is fantastic. So you have to be aware what you're sending out to your clients and what kind of impression it gives. Trying to be personal, but not so.
So, and here's my experience with Facebook. This happened to me when I was out walking my dog, when I tried to log in Facebook. your account has been deactivated. If you have any questions or wonderings about this,
I like wonderings.
Wonderings, yeah, I wondered. You can visit our page at Facebook. It was an ordinary page with frequently asked questions.
You were deleted.
I couldn't call anyone, actually. And after a while, because they don't have any hotline, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't contact anyone. They wanted me to do this, disabled account request, it's called. You have to send in your passport.
Hey.
And you're a little bit, you are a little bit reluctant to send in your passport if someone asks you.
Especially to people who don't have a phone or an email.
No, but the usual stuff is that you get an email and someone said that I have inherited a lot of money in some African country and they want my bank accounts and my password. So
that's different.
But and I talked with a friend and he had the exact same. And they don't say why you are disabled, but here they thought that I was not me. That was the problem. You are not existing a person. So you're
that's a big problem.
1984, this one. So and after a while I got this letter, but this was after because my friend, he didn't have his Facebook account back for 8 weeks. And so I emailed some friends at Facebook, actually, so I got it back after 4 days. And they say here that after investigating it further, we have suspended your account by mistake. We are sorry for the inconvenience. And I got this letter from a girl called Arven, which is, mostly works in Lord of the Rings, I think.
So this is actually, it's her daytime job, actually. Taking care of security.
If she's not talking with elves, she suspended people from Facebook.
Scary.
But for heaven's sake, it's just Facebook. You can't post people on your children eating strawberry jam. No, for Facebook to have staying power, they have this verification model, So you verificate much stuff on the net with Facebook verification because people don't want to create new logins and usernames for every site or app. So suddenly I couldn't listen to Spotify. And it was like 10 different apps because I didn't know that I used this Facebook verification. You just do it once and then everything works. But when you're thrown out of Facebook, you can't listen. So this was a pretty big thing. So think about that next time, what is happening, and if you don't have friends who work for Facebook.
Next time you're evicting someone.
Absolutely.
One good example, though, is I just experienced this recently with LinkedIn. I was looking at upgrading my free LinkedIn to a Pro, and I was looking at the different features, at the prices, etc. I hadn't clicked on anything, I hadn't chosen anything, but all of a sudden pops up a small window saying, "Hello, Arne, are you looking for something special? Can we help you?" It's like a, friendly salesperson in a clothes store.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
And you can even help people if you are selling a product that you cannot control. Trips to the north of Norway to see the Northern Lights are very popular and they're very expensive. People buy expensive airline tickets, they book hotels, and they want to see the Northern Lights. But the show is run by God Almighty. You can't control it. But what can you do? You can help these people to enhance the experience. So this app, which is recently coming to an iTunes store near you in a couple of weeks, it combines data from meteorology and from NASA, because the Northern Lights is electromagnetic waves. So it actually will predict how possible it will be to see the Northern Lights in different cities in the north. So you can choose the city, scroll up and down, and then you will get either a wait or a try or a go. And you can switch to another city if Northern Lights are not there. So you can do a lot, even if you're not 100% in control of your product.
Okay, now we have complained and we showed some bad examples, some good examples, but what can you actually do about it? The first thing involved here is actually the support cost. And this is the average support cost for a call to support. It's $20.
And this is from one of our clients.
Yeah, and one client we have around 62,000 of those calls a year. And it equals to $1,240,000 So everything you can do about it, try to do something about it.
You can save a lot of money.
Absolutely. And a chain is not stronger than its weakest links. I am a stereo guy. I'm, the high-end guy, and a stereo is not better than its weakest links. This guy has invested a lot in his speakers and not so much in his amplifier, so he will have problems. But it's the same when you're doing services on the net. You have to invest where it hurts the most. So if we say like this guy, Jeff Bezos from Amazon, trust is hard to earn and easily lost. That's why we are customer-centric. And everything on Amazon revolves around the customer. He don't even listen if you come with anything else. Just, can we make it better for the customer?
So it's all about understanding where the customer is in his or her life cycle with you. I mean, first there is the phase of finding out that you and your product or your service exist. So you need to be there in all these touch points where the client is looking for something similar to you, and there are many others like you out there. And then the like phase is when customers actually buying your product, using your product, maybe getting some support, and also then sharing his or her experience with others. But the really important place to be is in the love section, where the customer really trusts you, loves you, and will be your best salesperson in advocating to all others how this extremely good customer experience has been. That's very important.
So this is commonly used tools. These are not very, cool tools or something, but you have to go through this. You have to interview the stakeholders. You have to do your site analytics. Otherwise, you don't know how your site performs, so where the weak points are. User needs, personas, user journeys, case scenarios, storyboards, prototyping is actually, my heart is beating for prototyping. Build a prototype. Don't just wait. Start building a prototype early on. And then user testing, and then test your product before it went out. For 10 years, when we did SIME like 10 years ago, these things were nice, but now we are depending on them. I sold all my LPs. I sold all my CDs. I can't listen to music if Spotify doesn't deliver.
And it's really, it's not a magic formula, it's really just basically...
It's hard work.
It's hard work, normal hard work.
Yeah, and as Frank Zappa, my favorite, used to say, he says, if you want to do something great, you better do it great.
Yes.
So the devil is in the details. I have a friend, he works at Dropbox, and he stands there. He's the one in the blue suit there. And he's a designer, and there are some user guys, user experience guys. They're standing there, and they're looking at the paper. And what do they look at? They look at all the different screens that the user can meet in iOS on iPhone for Dropbox. This
so if you
all,
log on...
all the combinations, and they are printed it out, and it's 25 feet. It's from here and over there to go out from Circus. And they are standing and looking at them. And instead, if they do this right, they don't get any support calls.
So if you log on, all these need to have a meaning.
Yeah, and they build up trust, and they don't want to lose that trust. So this is for real, and this is how the pros work. So, don't get lost, people.
It's very important.
Do your homework, or it can cost you lots of dollars and trust.
And you have to find out your pain points. Where is really, what do you say in English? The shoe is tricky?
I don't know.
Shoe fits. Okay.
Tricky
Doesn't
shoes.
Matter. Doesn't matter. Not important.
And the design people, the design department shouldn't sit in a separate building drinking drinks. They should work together tightly as a rock group or a band, and they should work with interaction designers. They should work with the front-end guys, the back-end guys, and they work together as a team. Should demand that on your agency.
And be a method actor. Be your customer. Buy your product. Use your service. Find out how it works instead of just sending out emails to people.
And don't forget to have fun.
It's very important.
And most important, I am the devil at my company, so the devil is in the details. Get that right.
And then you can experience the most important thing, true love. You need to put love into it. You can have
I'm
technology.
back, and your time is up. And if you don't stop speaking, I will explode in 10 seconds. 9, 8. I don't want to explode. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ola. He exploded.
You killed him. You killed him.
killed him.
You really killed
killed
him, and
him.
you're still talking. You killed him.
sorry.
Oh, you infidel. You're talking.
Ola was a nice guy, I can
shut
tell
up.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.